So there's the consent issue in compensation. And then there's the theft by humans, right, who are then copying your choreography and teaching it to their classes or teaching it on a convention or whatever, because you've posted it on the internet.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Beyond the Steps, produced by Apollo Performance and Turning Point Dance Creations. Last week, we learned the foundations of consent-forward and trauma-informed pedagogy. Today, we are diving into the digital side of consent and how you can protect yourself and your creative work in an AI-driven world. Nicole, this platform you've launched, Dancers.ai, is a game changer.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. My partner is an AI engineer and a software engineer. And back in 2019, he was talking about AI and the changes coming to AI. And I said something like, dance is safe, it's in the body. And he was like, no, it is not. And he said, no, it's not. It's not safe because where do you think they're getting the information to train like video game avatars for the dance video games? It's like that's coming from videos that are online that these AI companies are scraping and then training their programs on.
It's very much the Wild West. It is very much here to stay. As an e-com company, that's something my partner says all the time. She says that it's the Wild West out there and we have to know what we're doing. And so we've adopted it in every aspect of our company that we possibly can, just because there's no fighting it. And if you're fighting it, you're going to be really behind the 8 ball because it's not going to go away. So we're excited to dive in and kind of learn what you did with this platform and learn more about it and share it with you all out there. Nicole, for those hearing about it for the first time, what is Dancers.ai and why is it so important for you to build this platform specifically for dancers?
Yeah, Dancers.ai, and that is the website. You can type that right into your search bar. .ai is the suffix there. Dancers.ai is a video sharing platform that when you upload your video to it, you can pick a security level. And so there are 3 levels currently. That there's like an audience friendly level where there's very little visual disruption, but that also means there's currently very little protection. And then there are greater levels, but the higher the level currently of technical protection, the higher the level of visual disruption for the audience. Not to the point that you can't see it, but to the point that you're like, oh, their video has some grainy, staticky kind of looking things on it. And so that's something that we're working on, but the proof of concept is there that you can upload videos and share them. And basically, without giving too much away, it's currently patent pending. We've created a technology that screws with the metadata of the video so that if the AI is looking at it, the metadata is wrong. And it's instead of being like there's 1 person, it tells it there's 6 people. Instead of being there's 6 people, it tells it there's 600 people. Instead of telling them that they're on a stage, it tells them that they're outside. And there are confounders put into the metadata so that it scrapes it down, tries to train a robot or an avatar or a program, and then basically gets garbage and then throws it out. And it's sort of like the club for your steering wheel. Could an AI company scrape down these videos and then clean up the metadata and then train their thing? Probably. And we know that there's enough security deterrent in there that they're not going to, because it's going to be way easier to go on YouTube and steal your things from there.
Wow, that is amazing. That's cutting edge. That is really gonna change the game, Nicole, for real.
I hope so. We've been really excited. We received funding from the Doris Duke Foundation, which is one of the nation's biggest arts funders, as part of their Performing Arts and Technology cohort in 2024 for the research and development of this. And we resulted in this of a proof of concept that the website exists. You can see the 3 dances. Part of our funding was to create the technology, but part of our funding was also to create our first data set, which was the 3 dances that are on the website right now. And there are 3 super different ones. You can see that there is 1 person dancing outside. And then there is a group of dancers dancing on more of like a proscenium stage setup. And then there is a dance film where there are things super, super close up. So you can't always tell how many dancers there are, but you just see body parts, and you can't always tell what the body parts are because you're just seeing pieces of them. So we've made 3 incredibly different dances, which is also very exciting to just get to be able to hire dancers and pay them a living wage because we're funding for it to make these things. So we've spent truly the last year creating dances, filming dances, and then building this platform. And we're now in our beta testing phase where we're looking actively for folks to start using the website to give us more videos to work on. It's like we made a data set that is pretty varied and tested the technology pretty strenuously, but there's so many different kinds of dance out there, and there's so many different ways that dance is filmed. Like we would love to just have more folks using this website at this point, and putting, especially if your videos are already out on YouTube, send it to us and let us let us.
Yeah, this just falls under the topic of consent and consent to use other people's work, and kind of what we were talking about in last week's episode with the pedagogy and upgrading the way that you're approaching your teaching practices. So I want to talk about this because it's really exploded. It's always been a problem, but more so, I would say, in the last 5 years, post COVID, probably. So many dancers post their choreography online, but worry about theft or misuse. You frequently have people, because they don't know what else to do about it, posting in social media platforms, trying to scream at anybody who will listen that so-and-so ripped off their choreography, right? How does Dancers.ai help restore creative agency and consent?
The first part that we tackled with this is really that, like, right now dancers' work is being scraped and used to train by companies that absolutely could flip and pay you a lot of money for your work, and they're not. So it definitely is a consent issue in that way of, like, you are not being compensated for your work that you are putting out on the internet, likely in order to get work. Like, you're hoping that someone sees that video and hires you to choreograph or perform. And instead, what is happening is some very wealthy company is truly stealing your work and using it to make them money. So there's the consent issue in compensation. And then there's the theft by humans, right, who are then copying your choreography and teaching it to their classes or teaching it at a convention or whatever, because you've posted it on the internet. And that's also part of our next round of application for this technology. Is we're hoping to develop an app that if you put in a URL from your TikTok and a URL from their TikTok, that it can compare and contrast and say, like, it's this percentage the same and this percentage different. That then you have some statistics to back up your public shaming. But we're also hoping.
But it also, like, it will help you to be able to establish authenticity and ownership over that choreography and pursue different pathways. Hopefully it opens up pathways for people to have an avenue to pursue it, because right now it is really challenging. So hopefully this becomes a tool.
Yeah, and if these platforms can find a way to, it happens all the time. We've all had this happen where we've posted something and then it's like copyright infringement because of the music, right? They have a way on the platforms of finding copyright infringement due to the music. Why can't they find it due to the movie? And that's a question that we're asking right now that we don't have an answer to, but it's something that we're asking. And we think we have a technology that can help provide that answer of, like, why are we we as artists in dance so often just treated less than other artists, and why have we just accepted that as the way it is? I'm not accepting that.
Absolutely. And I think that, with the legal system being the way it is, and you have the burden of proof is on the person who is the actual accuser, like, you think, okay, we need some statistical data that says this is what it is. Like, if you even think about the blurred lines trial with the family of Marvin Gaye and Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams, and it was like, oh, this snare drum was here and it was here, and they had to have very clear placement of instruments down to the down to the drum beats, in order to prove their case. And a platform like yours, being able to do that for dance would be extremely helpful. So what has the response been? I know you're looking for people to submit and have the platform tested. I'm sure you've tested it yourself and also had some people do it. What's been the response so far?
People are really excited that this potential exists. There are still lots of questions about like how far is the reach? Well, right now, not very far, because we do not have YouTube dollars to be like, YouTube is the place everybody goes. So there's questions on that. We're meeting with a university next week to talk about their choreography class, just using this platform as a way to share their materials. And we've also met with the Choreographers Guild to talk about this issue of copyright. That's a really big issue in the choreographer community, and what are the issues that they're seeing, and what are the technological solutions that they're looking for that might be something that we can build into our platform as we enter this sort of second round of development and growth. So everybody that we've talked to has been really, really excited. What we desperately need is a funder for the second round. The Doris Duke Foundation gave us the funding for the research and development round, which is amazing because that's really hard to get. And to have people just be like, I don't know, try it and see what happens. Here's some money. That's wild. But now that we have the thing, we're like, we have a thing and we need help making it all that we envision it can be.
So if there's funders out there, they're looking for funding. If there's testers out there, they're looking for testers. There's a lot of looking happening. So there's a lot of opportunity to get in on the ground level of this amazing technology. So please make sure that you reach out to Nicole, about this. We're big. This is going to be an amazing resource for the dance community, and we're big on education and resources. So for you out there, our saying, when you know better, you do better. So we really want you to make sure that you not only take advantage of Dancers.ai, but also the free resources that we offer through the STEPS initiative. It's a free 5-part course that educates you on everything from nutrition, psychology, medicine and science, sex abuse prevention, racism, gender equity, you name it. There are resources there. And did I mention that they are free? Make sure that you take advantage of those. We'll pop that link into the description so that you, your friends, and everybody else can take advantage of those free resources. And Dancers.ai. So, Nicole, you said it is totally active right now. The website is, there are some things there. When people visit, what can they expect to find?
Yeah, right now, the 3 dances that we created last year as our data set and our case studies for the technology are up and available. And there is a form that you can fill out for beta testers. So if you have a video that you're like, I want to see what happens when I send you this video, please fill that out. If you're interested in like this university of like, how could we use this as a class? Please use that form. If you have money to send us, use that form and we'll tell you how. So Dancers.ai has that contact form. And also, if you're thinking of other applications, like part of the reason we started with dance is because it's incredibly complex. Dance is an incredibly complex art form for protection because it often does have music. It often does have multiple bodies moving that also has moving lights, and those bodies are in various states of illumination that may or may not be easy to see. It's a really complex technological problem. But we thought if we could solve it for dance, it would probably be easier to solve it for like theater or opera. So if you are a theater or opera person and you're like, what does this look like for us? Use that form. Let's find out.
I also heard a little birdie told me last episode that there is a book that is coming next month. Tell us about it.
There is this book. Consent is, I think, my mission in life, to just make it easier for people to talk about consent, for people to expect to be able to give consent, for people to just normalize consent. So the book that is coming out, you can pre-order it on January 2nd, is called Careful Creativity in Theater and Dance Education, and it is about practices. There are chapters of literal practices and tools and templates for dance and movement educators to bring consent practices into their classrooms, trauma-informed practices into their classroom, because I also think those two things are the same. Nobody consents to trauma, or wouldn't be traumatic. So if you have a trauma-informed practice, it is also consentful. So that book is coming out, which is a different way of thinking about consent. So we've got the technological performance side and we've got the pedagogic classroom side.
Make sure you get your pre-orders in on January 2nd, get that book, give it to your favorite dance educator as they're starting to plan their curriculums for the summer and the fall. It would be great to go ahead and get it to them in the spring so that they know exactly what they're going to be planning for. And Nicole, really quickly, how can people get in touch with you for consulting or to ask questions or to learn more?
My personal website is my name, NicolePerry.org, and there's a contact button right on the front page, and you can hit that for me. If you want a workshop for your studio or your dance convention faculty or your academic dance department, I do those through Momentum Stage, who also was the developer of the Dancers.ai platform, and that website is momentumstage.org. And up at the top, one of the buttons will be request a workshop, and you can reach out to us for workshops.
All absolutely incredible. We're so proud and excited for you. I mean, I don't know when you slept this past year, but I mean, good for you, girl. This is amazing. You're not just talking about consent, you're building tools that protect it. And it's just, I really hope you're so proud of yourself. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And change is affected by people asking, how can we make this better? And so I also just want to say good for you, because we need more people doing that. Next week, we're bringing it home and talking about your book in depth and the practical tools educators can use to build safer, more careful classrooms. It's going to be so good. We hope you join us. And until then,